And it's time again for another rousing episode of How to Improve the Glock Pistol. This time from Bul Armory.
From Bul.
The Axe Cleaver.
Welcome to another tabletop review. TD is here, boys and girls.
Dude, it just blows me away. I thought this was actually a great design, right?
It is a great design.
Now, get this. We didn't discover it's actually pretty terrible in a lot of ways.
I know where you're going.
Until the patent ran out on it. And then it turns out all this time we've been using this hunk.
Exactly.
Like, dude, we were missing out.
You're stealing my thunder.
Look at how curved that trigger is.
Yes.
Who the heck needs that? No thank you.
The slide's jacked up. The sights are jacked up. The trigger guard's jacked up.
Yeah, what?
The frame is jacked up. The magazine's jacked up.
Oh.
Step aside, Glock. Let us show you how to get it done. Leave it to Cleaver. Leave it to Cleaver. Okay, here's the star of the show, boys and girls. The Bul Armory Axe Cleaver interpretation of the Glock 17.
Glock, but perfected.
So you're saying that Glock perfection is not true?
It turns out no. I didn't know it, but look at all these scallops and this cool looking trigger guard. Turns out that is what Glock was missing.
Okay, boys, we're having a good time with this. So you might detect just a little bit of sarcasm, but it is deserved. You will see that it is deserved as we go along here, right, TD?
Yeah.
Okay, first take on the Axe, leave it to Cleaver. What do you think? TD, do you like it? When you first held it yesterday, and I was like, hey, check this out. What'd you think?
Yeah. I leaned more positive than negative.
So just on looks, you thought it was cool?
I actually like the feel and the feature set.
Okay.
Knowing that it's somewhat more affordable than getting the equivalent features on a Glock. And that's setting aside kind of the baggage of custom Glock and the scene and all that stuff.
You and I tested the Zev product several years ago. Probably about, I don't know, heck, at this point, 8 years ago. And in that review, and you and I talked about it in field, what we said about the Zev, that you could also say about whatever clone of the Glock product you want, is that if you want customizable features, you would be better off getting it out of box with these companies. If for whatever reason you feel that Glock perfection is a bold-faced lie, and you go, I need something more, get it out of box, and that's what you're driving to, right? That all this stuff, it's going to be way cheaper to get it, and as it came out of box initially, you're going,
Yeah, I like the ergonomics behind it. I like the traction. I like how everywhere your finger points and touches, they've paid some kind of attention to it. Like that. You want to, like, you have your finger off the trigger
guard. Let me move the third gen out of the way.
You got this cute little ramp to keep it locked in position. Yeah,
index
traction.
pad.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, look at how sucky Glock was. They didn't put a freaking index pad on this thing.
See, that right
what
there
were
is
they
dangerous.
Thinking?
Because you could slip right off and then engage the trigger.
This is a third gen, boys.
thinking?
Modded by myself lightly. Reviewed about a decade ago.
Get it together.
Okay, so you like that. How about, we have a 4th gen G17 right here, cast member. Is the grip... Let's jump right into it. POU, by the way, boys, is standard. It's everything a Glock can do, questions. But it's more, we're kind of like talking about personal preferences and second cool. That grip versus that grip.
To be honest with you, I can't even tell if this is good or not. I have to wait another 17 years for this trademark to run out. And then when the aftermarket starts making
give an answer. Okay, let me help you out. Everybody says the finger grooves are such an idiotic thing in the 4th gen, 3rd gen, right?
Yeah, I like
and they're deleted here. Myself, I'm going, okay. I never really had a problem with the finger grooves that much. I know some guys did because of their hand size, but I didn't really care that much.
I like them.
You do like them.
Yeah.
You like this. Pick that gun up. Remind yourself
a lot more
how jacked up and insufficient it is.
Yeah.
See, it fits you perfect.
Yep.
Fits you perfect. I like this texturing on the Gen 4s. The Gen 5s are great. Yeah. So, we're going back to leave it to Cleaver. I actually like the grip too. I'm with you on that, but I don't think it's markedly better than this one. And my decal grip version, this one. In fact, in some ways, I think it's worse. And what I mean by worse is in this direction, it's actually pretty slick. Of course, I have gloves on. I know. Okay, we'll just leave it at that. Otherwise, this is going to be an hour-long video. Magazine button. Very Gen 4-ish, really. About the same size. Super undercut here, though. I like that. So you can get a really high grip on the axe cleaver, right? And then we've got some weird faceting going on here. This is what I call a stylistic exercise. It does nothing functionally. It's just differentiating itself from this.
It actually imbues your sidearm with the spirit of a dragon.
How about Ronin?
That too, yeah. But it's supposed to emulate dragon scales and give you a sense of warrior's spirit.
Does it make you shoot better?
No.
It just looks cooler.
Yeah, it just makes
Would
you
it
feel
intimidate your enemy, them just looking at this, going, dude?
Yeah, but you need more dragon-themed accessories. So maybe like a leather
This looks like
wristband,
dragon scales right here, dude.
a cool necklace, maybe.
Look, doesn't that look like dragon scaling right there?
Yeah,
Maybe she should
kinda
call
got
it the Dragon Slayer. Huh? You're welcome, Bul Armory. The Dragon Slayer will be the next one that works. Excuse me. Okay, the flat face trigger, not a fan.
You don't have flat, squared fingers?
Stupid. I ran about this frequently in a lot of gun reviews. Here's the deal, dudes. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. The trigger itself, let me say, is decent. I don't think it's amazing. I think it feels, well, glocky. Let's check out the reset. Short reset. It's tactile. But the trigger itself is not amazing. It's kind of spongy.
Yeah.
But the sharp transition here is just retarded. I don't like it. I'd way prefer this trigger here. It's smooth, comfortable, and rounded. Again, it's just a style exercise to be different.
Yeah.
That to condemn what's come before it and say we have a better way. And by the way, Bul Armory is not the only one doing this. This is made in Israel, by the way. Interesting.
I've never even heard of these guys before, and I look up their portfolio, and it's all stuff like this. Standard pistol, but with all the aftermarket stuff.
Outlandish styling.
Yeah.
Now this thing right here, by the way, I didn't mention this. This is like kind of a shallow thumb ramp.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't mind it.
I'd rather have just this here. It's okay. I guess, I don't know. I think it just looks dumb. I don't want to concentrate on that though. That we got bigger eggs to fry here. Thoughts on the trigger? Anything I missed?
Let me look into my crystal ball. You ready? Go. I can tell you trends that will come out years from now. Okay, this will fall out of favor.
It will.
But if you look up the Tippmann 98 double trigger, that will come into vogue about 2028, 29 in the summer.
Guns will be illegal in the United States at that point.
You're going to see this cut out, and you're going to see the
communists will have won.
Yeah.
But if they weren't in an alternate reality, perhaps. By the way, I want to side with you. I actually do like that index pad. I think it's kind of cool. It's indented and it's perfectly textured. Yeah. Here's my beef. Why didn't you put this texture over the whole grip? Yeah. To me, that would have been tits.
Yeah.
You put this over here, dude, I'd be like, oh my gosh, because that's the kind of texture a lot of guys do when they do their custom stuff on the Glocks.
They ruin a frame with the soldering iron.
Full pick rail. I like that. No big issues there. On the Gen 4 Glock, we got a single slot. This is a full pick rail. Advantage, leave it to Beaver. What's this, dude? This slide cutout. Again, Glock must have got it wrong. I think I looked on their website trying to figure out what that was for. Is it like for some like practical purpose? It's called a Tomahawk slide cut, I think. And I think it's dumb.
Is it?
Or maybe the Tomahawk is just everything together. I honestly don't know.
I don't. Well, it obviously it means that I need to go and circumcise all my Glocks if I'm going to be a competition shooter.
Exactly. Here's a look at the top. Now, the specifications are the same as the Glock 17, and by the way, the Glock 17 to this day remains my favorite model in the entire lineup because it is the most lightweight, most functional. I just love it, love it, love it. This Gen 4 is awesome. The Gen 3s, never, by the way, get rid of your Gen 3s because you can put a pistol brace on them.
Yep. This is actually my favorite
that's
grip.
if you pay the tax stamp and stuff.
This is my favorite. With this grip tape, Gen 3.
Thank you.
This is the best one for it. This because it's still smooth enough that you can fit it on.
Agree.
It adds just the right amount of thickness and traction.
Agree.
It's perfect.
Agree. I have a Glock 34 slide on this, extended magazine release on there, 3.5 pound connector, different sights. I think that's all I did to this, and decal grip, and it's fantastic. It's reached for me a level of perfection. Why change it? The reason it's unchanged is because I'm like, why? It's got the Balder light on it, the Olight Balder Pro, which is amazing, rechargeable.
It's like a special color once upon a time.
Yes. This olive drab green I bought at Van Wagnen's. They only had it for a very short time and then it was gone. They just molded this green. It's not FDE. It is light olive drab green. Eat your heart out. But all the dimensions we're seeing here in a G17 product, you're seeing also in the Axe Cleaver because it's a Glock 17. Yeah. It's just gaudied up a lot. The sights on are actually pretty good. I like them. The 3-dot sights. Do you like it?
Yeah. They're metal, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Metallic, and they're kind of rackable, tacticalized here. So if you want to do a single rack with it, you can. Another thing Glock got wrong. You don't put plastic sights on the gun. You don't snipe in Caratan. You don't do that. Here's a look at this side. Very Glockish. Of course, we have different, slide serrations in here because they can't copy these. Same takedown as before. Oh, yeah, we have a metal guide rod because Glock got that wrong, too. Gaston totally screwed that up.
Gaston, you fool.
Idiot. Put a polymer guide rod on there, which both these guns, by the way, these cast members still have, and I see absolutely no reason in the world to change it. No one's ever convinced me to change it. So that is my polymer guide rod on here.
Look at how wobbly. Oh, Gaston.
Crazy, huh?
You chump.
Crazy. Yeah, so let's look at the magazine. Well, same rounds count as before. Lots of funneling. Actually, don't mind that.
The funneling was pretty cool.
I don't mind that because it doesn't really take away anything other than the ability to put a brace on it because you don't have a hollow section here. Yeah. Where's the magazine that came with this sucker?
Didn't you take it out on that side?
Yeah, this is it right here. So there's a magazine that came with it.
Looks kind of cheesy.
By the way, you might want to just use their base plate because here's what we found out in shooting this thing. Give me that one right here. Vickers base plate. No worky.
Yeah.
OEM, worky. So this is just a minor thing. I'm not going to condemn it for that at all. And that's features. Down and dirty. Down and dirty on the Leave It to Cleaver. Okay.
Do you think there's something to the thought process behind the direction that they went here? Because seeing you hold it, I'm thinking of when you draw it out of a holster, it's slicker pulling it this way.
Maybe there's something on the website. Huh. Most of that is horse shit, though. When any manufacturer goes in depth on, hey, we angled this block for this reason, and it's usually marketing.
It just seems like it should have been reversed.
It's a bunch of marketing crap.
Because then you have better traction pulling it out of a holster.
Okay, yeah, good point. My take on it, and you were asking, my take is they're doing it mostly for looks.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be kind of cool looking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Bul Armory, Miami, Florida. So that's the importer.
Oh, cool.
There you go. Okay, so there's lots of Glock clones. Some of my favorite, by the way, are the G19 clones by PSA, Palmetto State Armory. I'll put a link to those below. Those are the daggers. Those shot fantastically. In my book, I've already said it, they're just as go-to-war ready as, normal Glock 19 of whatever generation. But they're much less expensive. Then you have the Polymer 80 product. You have Shadow Systems. I reviewed and talked about the MR DR920 series. You have the Zev product and some others that I don't even want to talk about.
Yeah.
Now, we were laying on the sarcasm pretty thick. Obviously, if you cannot read between the lines, we think the Glock product is pretty darn good as it comes out of box, even for, heck, a 2-gen, a 3rd-gen, and a 4th-gen, and a 5th-gen. They're pretty excellent. Our beef with Glock is that they should come out with a different pistol design just because. The Glock is what it is. We love it. Do something different. Yeah. Add it to the product line. So I've given plenty of criticism to Glock. But what you see with these aftermarket makers, they're kind of doing what Glock has not done, and that is giving more style to the Glock product. A Glock, in a lot of people's minds, is like a brick.
Yeah, it's an appliance.
It's an appliance. It's a blender on the counter.
That goes back to Gaston's thing. Wasn't he like a curtain rod manufacturer or something? And then he saw a pistol contract and thought, I'll try that.
Outside of the box thinking, I'm just going to start from scratch. You want to launch 9mm projectiles? Here's a better way to do it. And by the way, it only weighs 25 ounces. That's pretty darn good. How did it shoot then? We're going to get to it. On the Axe Cleaver, first up, you started shooting it. What'd you think initially?
I didn't mind it. I actually was warming up to it with every shot. Each one added like 3% to how much I liked it. I
didn't think the trigger was that amazing. It's 5.5 pounds. I forgot to tell you guys that. It's okay. But I thought I'm shooting like a standard Glock. I mean, it wasn't doing nothing for me, but I was also liking it. Right up to the point when it started jamming.
Yeah.
You heard right. Jamming, ladies and gentlemen.
See, that's a secret ingredient. That's what Gaston missed. Gaston just gives you an appliance that just slings lead, and it's like, there's no excitement.
Okay, to be real, I've had stoppages in all types of Glocks before. It has happened. They're not, like, flawless, but I could say that about any pistol. So, the Glock product is pretty darn good, pretty darn reliable, but occasionally something happens. I was running Red Skies this year with the Glock 20, as I recollect, the long slide 10 mil. And those flat nose 10 mil rounds, it did not like those. So it had several stoppages. It happens. But overall, the Glock product is pretty damn reliable. Would you say that's true?
Yeah.
I mean, like, bet your life reliable.
And the kind of reliable you open up the box and shoot. You don't have to
do anything.
Down. You don't have to soak it overnight.
And as you say, red Loctite everything on it.
Yeah.
Don't get them started, please. This one, not bet your life reliable.
Not so much.
Okay, let's go back this summer because I tested it through the summer. It was highly unreliable and I couldn't believe what I was seeing because here we have a Glock copy that was choking. And I'm like, hello? And I immediately thought about barrel tolerances and how that's interfacing with a slide. I just kind of think that's where it's at. Yes, I took it down. Yes, I fully lubricated the pistol. You never know if it's stopped or if it's empty because it does the same thing.
Well, aside from the stoppages, I don't mind it.
Holy hell, dude. What the hell? Test discontinued. When a gun starts having problems, I always do that. I'm trying to see if I can get it to run. Bottom line is, it still had problems throughout the entire testing process. Now, there were strings of fire with its included magazine, by the way. It did pretty good. I was like, oh, good, it's running good. And I'm talking FMJs. I'm not talking an exotic jacketed hollow point load. And then it would go down again. It would fail to go into battery. It would just choke. Mostly, I believe, it was failures to go into battery. And yes, I was holding it right. I do lots of Glock shooting. Yes, it wasn't the shooter. And then I took it to the indoor range. This thing went on multiple outings. I wasted way too much money on ammunition with this gun. And like at an indoor range session, it was working pretty good, and then it wasn't. And so you're gonna get a mixture of everything. And I'll probably just show it from the beginning. And guess what happened when Tactical Doodle shot it? Same thing.
It gave me the true custom Glock that you see in a pawn shop case.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, trust me, the guy who tuned this really knows what he's doing. You're like, who? And they're like, oh, it's a guy in town.
It'll be interesting to see if some defenders of the gun come forward and they go, oh, well, yeah, you just need to get it tuned. And I'm like, come on, dude. Don't say that. You don't tune a Glock. That's stupid. Stupid. And so your first string of fire went pretty good, and then you started having problems.
How is it that the platform, the Glock community looked at all the fun that 1911 owners have in their forums, diagnosing and debugging day after day, and they're like, dude, we should do that. That would be perfect.
Such bullshit. So, let me, I don't have the paper. Let me say the accuracy was, when I did get it to shoot, was pretty darn good.
Huh.
And the paper somewhere, I don't know where. It looks like this, though. So this is a third gen, third gen. It's probably this exact gun right here, shooting against the Zev product. And this is back in 2017. This is with you, by the way. You and I were shooting this. Remember that foggy ice fog day? So this is me and G17.
That Zev was
15 yards, yeah, that's kicking ass. 15 yards? You can go watch that video and watch me shoot this. That's the Zev Glock. Zev was awesome. Super expensive. Stock G17. The reason I'm showing you this is also to remind you that the Zev product's still out there. We actually like the Zev. We just thought it was way overpriced for what it is. Yeah. I like the Zev looks better than this one, to be honest.
It's better.
The gold titanium nitride, I think it's a classy looking Glock product. It's not gaudy like this Dragon Slayer one.
Yeah.
It's okay. But the accuracy, I want to say, is about like that. It's excellent.
Yeah.
No better than a stock Glock, though.
Not so much.
So I always laugh when guys like, well, I really want my gun to be more accurate. And I'm like, well, I saw you shoot at the range at 10 yards, and you were shooting into a 14-inch group.
I want my hands to be more accurate before I go spend $1,000.
The Glock can outshoot all of us. You need to improve your mechanics. You don't need a better barrel. You don't need tighter clearance. No, it's probably us behind the trigger. Would I go out and buy an axe, leave it to Cleaver? Hell no. TD, you?
What if I told you I could get you one of these, but cut down to the same size as a carry pistol? Because I think they have one of these that's sized like a 19, don't they?
Still no.
Are you okay? What about if I
know you're going to scum at this from all kinds of angles, and you know what the answer is.
The Bul Bad Dragon.
It's kind of enticing right there. The Bad Dragon. The Bad Dragon. No.
Bad Dragon is a dildo company.
Oh my gosh.
Big old fake dragon dog.
You know, I'm scared that you know what that is and what that means. It scares me. The answer is no, no, and no. We would not buy a leave it to Cleaver dildo pistol or whatever you want to call it. No. It's an exercise in silliness to me.
Yeah.
Just in looks. I mean, there's some functionality to it, but when it doesn't shoot, it kind of starts and ends with how it's shot, right? Yeah. Now, maybe you guys have a leave it to Cleaver and you're like, hey, man, my shoot's 100%. I love it. And I'm not going to say you're a liar at all. I'm just going to say the one we got with the curse of the Nut and Fancy project, crap happens. And that's what I bring to tabletop. I don't use other people's data.
To be honest with you, even if this shot 100% and I were buying a Glock, I would get a factory Glock.
Thank you.
Because I don't know if I'd be able to get my money back out of this.
You're not.
I would not want to be fielding 50 texts from people having to explain, yeah, but it's just like a Glock.
Yeah. Now, this one I don't think is astronomically priced. No. I think this Israeli-produced version is less expensive.
Yeah, south of like 700 or so.
I just don't get it. I mean, there's other pistols, if you're looking for second cool, that I would do it, usually. And if I really had a hard-on to get a customized Glock and I didn't care about the price, I'd get a Zev.
Yeah.
I think it's still a waste of money.
Or I would just like get a well-loved, beaten-up Glock and then
get a police return Glock.
Yeah.
Something thrashed so it looks like you've put the wear on it.
Yeah.
Then you'll get some respect. No, the Glock product is not broken. It's pretty amazing. It's boring.
Yeah.
It's boring. It's time proven, but yeah, that includes boring. It's not exactly second cool, although we did a little bit of second cool dress up on this one. It's not. But I mean, what are you after? You're after a go-to-war pistol that weighs 25 ounces. There's our answer. There's our answer. No.
The Glock customization mark, because I'm pretty sure at one point I used to want more customization in the Glock. I said I want some personalization, I want some cool baubles, I want some things to obsess over.
Are you being serious?
Yeah. Yeah, because it was boring and I wanted a little bit of that fun and the interest and the planning. And it's like I asked the waitress to come over and grate just a little bit of pepper and the bottom fell out of the shaker and just all went in. And I'm just trying to scrape all that pepper off.
Here's another way you can go. If you are bored with your Glock pistol, whether it's a 19, a 22, a 17, there's all types of aftermarket accessories. I'm going to put links below taking you to Pro 2A Optics Planet. Yep. You can go get different slides for it, different barrels, gold titanium finish barrels. You can dress it up as much as you want. You can get a frame treatment on it. If that's the way you want to go, do it.
Yeah.
But when you do that, you're kind of your own test pilot. You've just departed from the Glock factory formula, and now you might have some of the same problems this does when you start messing around with stuff, putting your own barrels in and stuff. Yeah. I'm not going to say it will result in problems because I've put Lone Wolf barrels in Glocks for years, and they run, as I recollect, 100%. You shot them with me. The Lone Wolf barrels that are threaded, we put our cans on.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a thought.
Hey guys, I put a 16.5-inch barrel on my Glock 17. Can someone walk me through how to get this to work?
Yeah.
I just thought it would look classy.
It's not classy. There you go, boys and girls. Another GRV brought to you by donors of the Nut and Fancy Project. They are the Patreon members in the clubhouse that seems to be working. We've been there for a number of years. You should join, stay for the rest of your life. I have donors that just give $1 a video. Better than nothing. That's $6 a month. A homeless person can afford that. I saw a homeless person with an iPhone 14.
It's cheaper than
this week.
soup.
Yeah, you can afford it. Worth it. At least subscribe, hit that notification bell. I'm always fighting the YouTube algorithm. I don't make a dime in YouTube off this video at all. All the ammunition, the food, the gas, and a few bucks in our pockets for all the hard work come from the donors. Round of applause to them.
Thanks for the ammo, guys.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Before we leave, we're going to do a watch check, by the way. I've got a Shield Marius Pro programmed. What do you got?
Go on. I've got the Skmai
Mudmaster clone in black web. I'll put a link to that below.
I'm liking this one.
It's freaking awesome.
I've come to really love these because I find that the real like $200 G-Shocks that I have, I actually don't wear them that much.
They're kind of heavy. Have you noticed that? They're kind of heavy.
Yeah.
I like them. I love their honest to goodness G-Shock product. I think it's good. The Mudmaster's awesome, but I don't love their $350 price tag.
That's the thing. I feel like I don't get $350 worth of enjoyment out of them compared to like an analog one where
buy a Skmai.
I'm keeping it alive with my motion.
See you next video.